Thank you. Thank you, God. I need somebody to help me say this to him. Say, hallelujah. You have won the victory. That's why you can't be defeated. That's why you can't be stopped because of this truth. You have. Come on, brag on them. Death could not. That's why I can't stay down. Cause you are. Tell them what he is today. You see that. Let's brag on them. Say you are the real. Now let's go. Let's take the roof off of this place. Lift up those hands all over this room. Let's declare it together. Tell them hallelujah. Hallelujah. You have won the victory. I feel Jesus in this room. Come on and declare it loud. Hey. Hallelujah. What did he do? You have won it all. Say, death could not hold. Death could not hold you down. You are the way. You are the way. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I love you, Jesus. You are the way. You are. Lift those hands. Tell them hallelujah. Come on, raise that sound. You have won the victory. Hallelujah. The victory is yours today, God. You did it for me. You did it for me. Death could not hold.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm in my jam right now. Hello again, YouTube. It's your girl Aniya A, and I'm super live, super lit, super. I don't even know what the other L word would be, right? Super lively, I guess, because it's been a really long day, but I still have a tremendous amount of energy because I am in creativity mode. And honestly, I'm just sharing a little bit of hope for those out there that may have felt like, I don't know, like life sucks, right? Anyway, with that being said, I'm super excited because like as of late, I've been getting into my praise and worship music. And I honestly have somebody to thank for that, right? Somebody that I hold very near and dear to my heart, who happens to be a brother in the movement, who is just somebody that kind of bugged me about like praying again and being accountable again, right? His name is Senior Chaplain Peter Zaquan Jones. And I say the whole name because he is just like so funny, right? And I have to utilize the whole name when I speak about him. But this is what I wanted to share tonight, right? Sometimes we go through these like strange circumstances in life and we become despondent because we're in a lot of pain, but that's why there's hope. Hold on, pain ends. And I remember being in so much pain after, when the COVID started and things like that, not just a physical pain, but like an emotional pain and just like not knowing what to do about my circumstance and then feeling abandoned by somebody that I really cared about. We get entangled sometimes in circumstances and we don't realize what it's going to do to our psyche. But with me, I kind of predicted that this thing would happen and it left me feeling really bad, like in a really, really bad place in my life because I literally lost a really good friend. And the entanglement was just really chaotic because I'm like, what the hell did I even do? I knew I set up some weird things, to happen, but I was just trying to protect my heart and my sanity, whatever I had left of it. And that was not a good look. Like, sometimes you get involved in a situation and you're just like, why did I do that? And I kind of felt it. But of course, against my better judgment as a female, oh my God, as a female, sometimes we put ourselves in bad places. That's why I can never be too negative and too hard on people like Jada Pinkett Smith, and other women out there that get caught up in scandalous affairs, because it's so hot out here for a pimp. Anyway, this is not how I wanted this after hours thought to go. I really wanted to share that there is joy after pain. Sometimes, the rain falls, but don't forget, eventually the rainbow has to come out, blah, 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 whatever. Anyway, don't beat yourselves up, guys. Whatever you're going through, right? Don't beat yourselves up, because at the end of the day, we're probably all going through weird circumstances for a reason. The reasons that often fail us or we can't figure out, but it's not for us to judge those reasons. It's just for us to live and try to be happy. So I know I haven't been on YouTube for a couple of days, and it's because my schedule has been really wild. But I have a couple of great updates. And this is why I love, my like entanglement situation, because I had to see, like, if like my friends or friend was somebody that really like gave a damn, like, would they first of all like abandon me in the time of need? X, they did. Also, would they even care about some of the things that I was sharing, or was it just about the desires and the lust or whatever? And one of the things about me is I try to be super supportive to everybody I meet, and that could sometimes be like a downfall, but it's not, because when I care, I really care. And when I give my heart into something, I really give my heart into the things that I'm working on, because I guess that comes from the abuse that I've experienced, as a child, always, having to give to others, always seeing myself last, right? And somebody's going to watch this tonight, and you're going to learn that even in the process of abuse, or like always having to do for others, there comes a time where you have to do for self. Unfortunately, I never really learned that, because most of my life was always about giving, giving, giving. And so my first instinct is to give. And sometimes I, don't understand barriers. And, sometimes I've gotten taken advantage of. But that's besides the point, because other times I'm like, it doesn't even matter. Like, let's just be cool or whatever and whatnot. But here's the thing: when somebody or people know your weaknesses, somebody's going to watch this and they're going to be like, oh my God, so true. When they know your weaknesses, or like if they have this uncanny ability to see through your soul, for example. Some people have this ability. And if they're able to know what it is that you need and then play off of that, that's a bad person. That's a bad person. And those are bad people that more than likely don't need to be in your life. See, some people are born with giftings that others aren't born with. I know this to be true because this is my little story. Like, I know I have these dreams and these visions, and I have deja vus and all that stuff. But oftentimes people would say I'm a clairvoyant, and I didn't know what that meant initially. And then of course I Googled it, but it's a hereditary trait. Like, it's actually in my DNA to be like this. Well, fast forward, I thought in my young mind that everybody had the same abilities that I had, until I realized that that is not so. And so what ended up happening with me is I started to understand that there are certain people that have the ability to tap into people's souls or tap into people's psyches, because they have that instinct. They have dreams, they have visions, and they also can feel certain things that other people can't. Now, funny enough, God allows us to go through certain things in life, because not only are they learning lessons for anybody that's going to watch this later, but it's also like a protective band-aid. You know how you get cuts, and when you get cut, like you're bleeding all over, what have you, and then you put on a band-aid after you've cleaned it up. But if you take that band-aid off too quickly, what happens? That cut opens back up, and that wound, if it's not fully healed, won't heal properly. And the band-aid is a band-aid is like to cover, that thing from bleeding and gushing blood. But again, it could also cause you infection if you leave it on for too long. So you have to be able to know when that band-aid needs to come off, or when it needs to stay on, or when you just need to get rid of the band-aid altogether. And what happens is sometimes when we develop relationships and friendships, we give so much of ourselves that we don't know when the band-aid should come off, when it should stay on, when we should stop bleeding, when we should, pick the scab. I mean, like there's so many different components, but some people have this really intriguing way of tapping into that process. They study the person, they know exactly what their weaknesses are, or even their SWOTs, like in business, but it happens also in real life, right? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Some people are so good at selling you the bullshit because they know exactly what you're looking for and what you need. We have to be very careful and cautious of those people, because at the end of the day, they can really harm us, right? I say that to say, so once, COVID hit, I was in an entanglement. I was like really stressed out and struggling, because I didn't know what to do. I was like, this is a little heavy for me, because, I kind of knew that I was getting myself in a bad predicament. Because again, I have these dreams, I have these visions, I have these feelings. I know when things are not going to go very well. And things got really dark for me, because when you really care for somebody, they can really hurt you, right? Anyway, thank God for prayer. Thank God for the saints. Thank God for the senior chaplain, Peter Zaquan Jones, who didn't know anything that I was going through, but forced me to join a prayer group. And literally was like, you gotta pray, you gotta pray. I don't know how the man knew that I had stopped praying. I didn't know what to say to God. And I felt really bad about my circumstance, because although I was doing a lot, I still am a good person, right? I think. And literally I was in a really bad predicament. And the senior chaplain came out of nowhere and just kind of forced me to be a part of this prayer group. And ever since then, I've been praying again. I've been listening to gospel music, and my mind is a lot clearer because I'm no longer drinking as well, which was another issue. Oh my God. Ever been in an entanglement and you're drinking and you can't figure shit out, so you keep drinking some more because you're like, I just need to get drunk all the time because this is a lot, Anyway, he knew I needed to pray. He knew I needed to have a conversation with God. And once I did that, things started to get better and things started to look up. So in essence, I'm feeling really great tonight because, I got to see the senior chaplain today. We got to take care of some business. We got to meet with some new people, which I can't talk about yet. It's a secret. I got into another Zoom meeting because I'm a part of several different organizations. But one of the best things that happened this morning is, honest to God, I woke up to messages from my logo guy. And my logo guy is the one that kind of made my first t-shirts that I've ever had for myself. And I'm so proud of my logo and my, t-shirts and my companies and stuff. Because I finally have stuff for myself. And for those I say, well, Aniya, isn't that pretty selfish that you are talking about having stuff for yourself when you just said you never had anything for yourself and you always gave? Well, duh, that's the point. Because I never experienced things on my own and I was always giving, it kind of feels good when you do stuff for yourself. Eventually, though, you will give away a lot of stuff because it's for your company and the community, but you get it. Anyway, my logo guy hits me up this morning and says, girl, that logo is about done. You're going to be so proud of the logo. And I'm like, oh my God, send it. And he's like, we have to have a conversation. And I'm like, okay, but we couldn't have that conversation tonight because I had a million things to do. And I just zoomed on in to jump on Zoom than to jump on the Aniya A show. With that being said, friends and family, That's a lot, right? I know I just gave you a lot. With that being said, though, the logo should be done tomorrow. I'm so proud of myself. I'm not depending on anybody to help me out. I'm just taking the lead. I finished that fourth book. I'm now, still looking for that literary agent. But one of the things I've learned in the past couple months is, first of all, the person that I'm referring to and that I was entangled with or whatnot saw through me, knew what I needed, then utilized my sensibilities and my, I guess, what I needed. Like, they just literally was able to figure shit out. We talked, I exposed a lot of myself, and that was not what I wanted to do, but I'm happy it happened because it taught me so many valuable lessons. And at this point in my life, I'm happier because I experienced something and realized I really don't need nobody. Like, you can't figure me out, then be like, the carrot and the horse. You can't dangle stuff in front of me and be like, Anaya, you want it? Do you want this? Do you want this? Well, you got to do this. Do you want this? Well, you can't have it unless you do this. That BS doesn't work with me, And it hurts because I'm not that type of person to do stuff like that. But when you get caught up in situations, you tend to play by the rules if you're desperate and if you don't really have self-love. So anyway, I'm praying again. I'm happy again. I'm getting my logo hopefully tomorrow. I'm feeding the children and giving the children stuff in Africa and Haiti. And isn't it funny that the support hasn't been there? Because obviously this person I'm referring to is a complete jackass. And they wanted me to be like, play this little game. Like, I'll give you if you do this, or you have to deal with my crap because, you love me and you miss me. And I'm like, for all that, I can do all this on my own. Plus, you don't even support me and you don't even care. You really don't give a damn. You support everybody else. I see it. Anyway, YouTube, this is my time to vent because I'm not going to openly say this, to anybody. So on YouTube, it goes into the YouTube categories or whatever you want to call it, or whatever. Anyway, guys, I feel really positive and really amazing. I had a great day, and tomorrow I have a really great interview with another amazing person that I love, who works for the Assemblywoman here in town in New York City, who's a mother, who's a wife, who really makes me want to do better when it comes to relationships and motherhood and all of that. And I can't wait to interview her because she's like my sister, and she's like somebody I really respect, and I'm so proud to know her and see all of the great things that she does in spite of what she's been through. So I gotta shut it down because I gotta get tomorrow's stuff ready, and also get ready for my conversation with my logo man about my logo tomorrow. And what else? I just gotta finish some, stuff. And in regards to that last book, I am having to reformat it to upload it. I did it in the wrong format, I think, but it's a part of life. I can't book any speaking engagements now, can I? I mean, who am I going to stand up in front of and speak, Remember that whole situation in March? 5 speaking engagements. I got payments for a couple of them, but holy cow, I've worked all my life, all my damn life, to get 5 speaking engagements in 1 month, and flyers and the books ready. And I mean, everything was in line for the first time, And then that happened with the COVID. But this is what I'm saying. I could have easily given up. I could have, I could have become despondent. I could have been depressed. Heck, I lost somebody that I really cared for and loved, and missed tremendously. Oh, and then all this other stuff happened. But I utilized everything to build me up and make me stronger. Was it easy? Absolutely not. Did I cry? Of course I did. I'm a freaking woman with hormones, of course. But nothing has stopped. Nothing has stopped. I'm going 100,000 billion%. And today was proof that if you continue to go forward, irregardless of the crap you're dealing with, I guarantee you're going to love the end results. So with that being said, and with a smile on this face, I want to say good night, YouTube. Thank you for sticking around, and watch us tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. on the Aniya A Show live on Facebook and Instagram. Hit me up at theaniyaashow@gmail.com, and stay tuned because that website, www.freedomentertainmentgroup, will be updated hopefully sooner than later. And if you want to support by any means necessary, do that whole cash symbol thing and say the Aniya A Show on Cash App, and you could send in a love offering, or you can help us send more goods, services, toys, clothes, etc. to Haiti and to Africa, because that's the baby project that we're working on now. Thank you guys again. Keep up all the great work you're doing wherever you are in YouTube land, and we'll see you very soon. Bye.